We don't know whether Archaeopteryx, all black all over, or under its wings. The lifestyle of Archaeopteryx is difficult to reconstruct, and there are several theories behind it. Some researchers suggest that he primarily adapted to light and gradient, while other researchers suggest
Hello, hello.
which is it. The absence of trees is including Archaeopteryx.
Yeah, I don't have
As said,
anything in there, so I screwed up again. So distracted because of so distracted because of difficulties here.
however, you may also be disappointed to know that the acid-spitting dinosaur in real life couldn't do no evidence that there's any dinosaur who was able to do this. Also, the movie, the Dilophosaurus had a neck grip. According to scientific evidence, including fossils, this next relative not exist in the real Dilophosaurus.
Hello. Well,
The director of the movie Jurassic
at
Park
least now I will get to see how loud it is without the microphone.
what is now America during the
I
early
don't like how
years ago.
Master Duel is muted still.
So the two best preserved at about 7 meters or 73 feet in length, with a weight of about 400 kilograms or 880 pounds. Dilophosaurus was one of the earliest large predatory dinosaurs in North America at the time. It was slender and lightly built, and the skull was proportionally large but delicate. The stem was narrow, and the upper jaw had a gap or key below the nostril. She had a pair of longitudinal arched crests on its skull. Their complete shape is unknown, but they were probably in one by keratin. The mandible was slender and delicate at the front, but deep at the back. The teeth were long, curved, thin, and compressed sideways. Those in the lower jaw were much smaller than those of the upper jaw. Most of the teeth had serrations to their front and back edges. Experts think the size of the crest probably varied from male to female.
Okay, let's see. Is this hearing anything? I'm guessing it.
The Duncan Range probably covered parts of Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. These areas and the rest of North America were once part of the supercontinent Pangea that was in the process. As a mutual assurance, you understand that looking out for each other isn't mean or groundbreaking radio game. No, it's human. Don't worry, we'll get you taken care of. I'm glad everyone's okay. Get a taste of new lifted fusion. Maybe 50% off in regular sodas.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, hello? Hello? Okay. Barely picking up. I don't think destroying that is gonna matter. Not one bit. Okay, okay. Oh, negate the activation. Okay, never mind. It does work, and I still got game. I think. Is it just gonna make those tokens, or is that only on my turn? Um, Geez, I wish I figure out how to now change the microphone. Um, let's see. I guess. Hello, hello. All right, I'm starting to figure this stuff out. Nice. Hello. Okay, it's working. So now I still have the. Mm, All right, well, they're taking their turn. Let's see if I can't figure out more about this. I think getting. How do I get this to hear Master Duel so there's at least some music? see.
Our best models into your hands and our product ASAP. Particularly excited about the rapid model product. And today, Gemini 2.5 leads the MMRina leaderboard in all categories. There's a lot of love across the top 40 platforms thanks to all of them. Gemini 2.1 Pro is our most intelligent phone ever. And now that was in a process of creating a model doing an interrupted period. The specific habitat of the Allosaurus is characterized as a mix of floodplains, open plains, Dilophosaurus probably found by walking and running swiftly using its muscular tail for balance and stability. Due to limited fossil evidence, it's hard to tell that the Dilophosaurus lived in groups of solitary hunters. Based on the observation of the function of their eyes, Dilophosaurus may have exhibited in social interactions, especially during mating season. Studies on these fossils suggest that the young dinosaurs grew rapidly at a growth rate of up to 30 to 31 kilograms, 66 to 77 pounds yearly during their early years. Scientists also observed air pockets in the brain case and other bones of the dinosaur. It is believed that the air pockets made it possible for prehistoric animals, like the theropods, who attained such great size without getting crippled under their weight as they developed. Dimorphodon was a genus of medium-sized pterosaur from Europe during the early Jurassic period, about 201 to 191 million years ago, and was named by paleontologist Richard O. 1859. The diet of Dimorphodon has been questioned among researchers, with earlier interpretations depicting it as an insectivore or a piscivore. Recent studies have suggested that Dimorphodon likely hunted small vertebrates, but it still would have consumed soft invertebrates like insects. Dimorphodon had an adult body length of 1 meter or 3.3 feet long, with 1.45 meter or 3.6 feet wingspan. The tail of Dimorphodon was long and consisted of 30 vertebrae. The vertebrae plateaued, but the remainder gradually increased in length and was stiffened by elongated vertebral processes. Like many pterosaurs, Dimorphodon has been perceived as a soarer in the past, correlating to historical perceptions of pterosaurs as seabird fellows. However, recent studies show that the animal was actually rather higher. Its wings are proportionately short in relation to the body, and its skeleton far robust, offering very little gliding potential. In life, Dimorphodon probably relied on frantic short flights the same manner as fallen fowl and woodpeckers, being unable to fly and probably only taking in the air as a last resort. Although there's limited direct evidence to explain the Dimorphodon's reproduction and life cycle, evidence from other pterosaurs suggests that they reproduce sexually. Females laid eggs with a leathery egg similar to that of many present-day lizards. There's abundant evidence that suggests that pterosaur embryos had undeveloped wings. This suggests that young Dimorphodons may have been able to move and possibly fly shortly after hatching. It is likely that juvenile Dimorphodons received limited parental care. Instead, they were left to fend for themselves within days or weeks of hatching. The social behavior of Dimorphodon remains speculative due to the limited evidence available. However, some researchers believe that these pterosaurs may have exhibited a degree of social structure, possibly forming colonies or groups. The presence of fossils in close proximity to each other has led to speculation about social behaviors. Evidence of needed for conclusive insights into their social needs. First appeared in the late Triassic period and grew through the skies until the end of the Cretaceous period, 228 million to 66 million years ago. Pterodactyl is a common term for the winged reptiles, probably called pterosaurs, which belong to the taxonomic order Pterosauria. Pterodactylus activus, the obedient species of the genus, was a comparatively small pterosaur, with an estimated adult wingspan of about 3.5 feet, or 1.6 meters. The largest species that would have soared during the Jurassic period, 101.3 million to 145 million years ago, was the Dexiapodec. The remains of this pterosaur were found in Scotland's Isle of Skye. The reptile had a wingspan of more than 8 feet, 2.5 meters. Pterodactylus was a cheap invertebrates. Vertebrates. Like all pterosaurs, Pterodactylus had wings by the skin and thread stretching from its elongated forefinger to its hind limbs. It was fluted internally by collagen fibers, externally by carotid ridges. Comparisons between the square wings of Pterodactylus and Jeepus and birds' reptiles suggest that it may have been diurnal. This may also indicate niche partitioning with contemporary pterosaurs inferred to be nocturnal. Based on the shape and size
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a bit much at all, huh?
the 2020 study of pterosaurs where supported the hypothesis that pterodactyl preyed mainly on invertebrates and had a generalized feeding strategy, indicated by a relatively high blood cost. More than 65 million years ago, a comet hit Earth. It wiped off 3/4 of the animals, including dinosaurs and other mammals. However, research shows that in the early years, there was climate change. Hence, there must have been the case for the scarcity of food and the cost. But the main and honest reason is yet to be unveiled with proof. Can you see what it's really like when our students are just you see why we make the audio? Having down to watch the moment each one stress and drops. It's like to do the laundry. As long as probably forever, there's only one frost. That's what we can do. Add a bunch of loose rolls, mix-ins like Oreo cookies or Pop-Tarts pieces. That's our cheap usage. For a fresh plate of frosting, gotta be Wendy's. One might say we're synonymous with shopping for homes. Yes, one might say. Leopoldo is a extinct genus of large, carnivorous marine reptile belonging to the Thalassophobia, a clade of short-legged Neosaurid plesiosaurs. Leopoldo lived from the mid-Jurassic to the late Jurassic period, 166 to 155 million years ago. More than 20 years ago, the BBC's Walking with the Dinosaurs TV documentary series showed the 25-meter-long Leopoldo. This sparked heated debates over the size of this plesiosaur, as it was thought to have been violently overestimated and more likely to have reached the adult size of just over 6. The speculation was set to continue, but now chance discovery at Oxfordshire Museum had led to University of Portsmouth paleontologists publishing a paper on a similar species potentially reaching a whopping 14 meters, 27 feet, twice the size of the Count Wet. Leopoldo could well have consumed food sources that are plentiful, such as squids, but since plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs were so prevalent, that sheer moving velocity was probably far slower than squids. This theory should be implausible unless Leopoldo had been an ambush predator. Dinosaurs, like other marine reptiles, are believed to have given birth to live young in the water, rather than laying eggs on land like many modern reptiles. This is supported by the discovery of pregnant marine reptiles and ichthyosaurs. with well-developed embryos preserved inside their bodies. Although the Eurodons spent their whole
Whew.
lives, they use
It's gonna be tricksy to get out of here.
this implies similar to things. They occasionally have to reach the surface free. Given the enormous size of the Leopoldi, it seems unlikely that it possessed any natural adversaries large enough to defeat it, aside from other individuals of its lineage. It is probably that larger plesiosaurs regularly encroach
Alright.
than the species.
They definitely cannot win this turn.
About 80 million years ago. The exact cause of their extinction is not clear, but it may have been due to a combination of factors, such as changing sea levels, competition from other marine predators like mosasaurs, and declining prey species. Allosaurus, meaning deceptive lizard, is a genus of herbivorous sauropod that lived in North America 152 to 151 million years ago during the late Jurassic period. Its fossils were found as a formation of modern-day Colorado, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Wyoming, Utah, and the United States. Apatosaurus had an average length of 21 to 23 meters, 69 to 75 feet, and an average mass of 16.4 to 22.4 tons, or 16.1 to 22 tons. Some specialists indicate that the specimen discovered in Oklahoma is thought to have weighed twice as much as the type specimen used to describe the species. They estimate a mass of 46 to 80 metric tons. While it was previously thought that the Apatosaurus and other large sauropods were semi-aquatic because they couldn't support their weight on land, this theory is now rejected. As such, the Apatosaurus was probably equally terrestrial, although it might have lived close to water sources. These dinosaurs are thought to have walked around 25 to 40 kilometers, or 15.5 to 24.8 miles a day. During their walks, Apatosaurus sauropods likely drank approximately 262 liters, 69.2 gallons of water daily. Dinosaur pods. Like the big herbivores of today, Apatosaurus probably
Alrighty then.
resulting from reduction in the greenhouse gas methane. In a 2012 study in the journal Current Biology, researchers calculated that Apatosaurus and other sauropods produced about 520 billion tons of methane a year. In theory, they could have produced enough methane to play a role in sustaining a warm climate of the Mesozoic era, said study lead researcher David Wilkinson, a biologist at Liverpool John Moores University in the United Kingdom. Apatosaurus laid eggs. Baby dinosaurs were likely born pre-Ocean, as were many baby dinosaurs, which means they were born somewhat independent. Moreover, other sauropod studies suggest that some age-mixed herds probably showed parental care until the young reached adulthood. Still, since most studies focus on sauropods overall, whether the Apatosaurus specifically exhibited its behaviors towards its young is unknown. Another research paper shows that they grew rapidly compared to other species, requiring only about 10 to 15 years to mature fully. Some studies show that these creatures had approximately 5,000 kilograms or 11,000 pounds annually. Consonance is a genus of small, bipedal, carnivorous theropod dinosaurs. Members of its single species, Compsognathus longlegs, could grow to around the size of a chicken and lived about 150 million years ago, during the Tithonian age of the late period in what is now Europe. Paleontologists have found two well-preserved fossils, one in Germany in the 1850s, the second in France more than a century later. This diminutive dinosaur likely subsisted on a diet of lizards, small mammals, young dinosaurs, and insects. Additionally, it likely scavenged leftover bits of flesh from deceased animals' remains. For decades, Compsognathus was known as the smallest known non-avian dinosaur, although some dinosaurs discovered, such as the Mahakala and the Microraptor, were even smaller.
Nice.
The specimen was estimated to be 70 to 75
Nice.
30 inches in length. while the larger breech specimen was
I
estimated
think I still would have won anyways, though.
at 1.8 or 4.7 inches in length.
Alright.
Its hip has been estimated at 20 centimeters.
Get to that sixth board.
And
Oh, wow. Nice.
with small bipedal animals with long hind legs and longer tails, which they used for balance during locomotion. The forelegs were smaller than hindlegs. The hand bore two large clawed digits, and a third foot digit that may have been malfunctioned. Their delicate scalps were narrow and long, with tapered stems. The teeth were small and pointed, suited for its diet of small vertebrates, possibly other small animals such as insects. It is thought that the Consigraphus lived in the islands surrounding the lagoons, which were situated between the beaches and the coral reefs of the region. The islands are thought to have had a semi-arid climate, an ecosystem likely had a few plants, but some cycads, polymers were present. It was likely a fast runner, as some scientists
Yeah, I mean, this card's way too strong to just give to people. It's crazy.
others depicted these results, though no explanations were they should help supply you.
Yeah, I don't want you doing any of that crap.
Now, the concept was a living creature that beneath a stick unit was a dragon. This is backed up by the assumption that it had
Might get rid of Droplet for another kaiju. Just need more eggs. If you're gonna use this, go the egg route with monster gates. I just
to the late origin and early Tectonic ages, about 152 million years ago. Hundreds of bones were unearthed by German expeditions between 1909 and 1912. Kentrosaurus generally measured around 4 to 4.5 meters, or 30 to 15 feet in length as an adult, and weighed about 700 to 1600 kilograms, or 1500 to 3500 pounds. It also with straight
actually, this is gonna be neat. I'm gonna take their Muhammad.
digested in a large just. It had a probably double row of small plates running down its neck and back. These plates gradually merged into spikes on the hip and tail. The longest spikes were on the tail end and were used to actively defend the out. The thigh bones come in two different types, suggesting that one sex was larger or stout than the other. Longer skinny spines like Kentrosaurus's make it
Okay.
but as ontologist Ken Carpenter points out, Stegosauruses thicker and proportionally shorter models are less likely to bend or break. As the spikes would have been obstacles during copulation, it is possible that pairs mated back to back, with the female staying still in a lordosis posture as the male maneuvers his instrument into her quaka. These shocker spikes would have made the female unable to lie on side during mating, as is proposed for Stegosaurus. Though Kentrosaurus likely stood with forelimbs erect like in other dinosaurs, it is hypothesized that the animal adopted a sprawling posture when defending itself. Its neck was flexible enough to allow it to keep sight of predators, as it could reach the sides of its body with its snout and look over.
My goodness, I can't believe it doesn't bring up the name.
Okay, but then, yeah,
Is this even gonna work?
keeping the tail pointed at the attacker. A successful predation of
Bestial Magnum Hut. Magnum Hut. Mag Magnum Hut. What the hell? Bestial Magnum Magnum Hut. Magnum Hut. Magnum Hut.
Even though Allosaurus grew 30 feet to 8.5 meters, the octopus was relatively small, producing a maximum life force of approximately 8,720 newtons. As such, specialists argue that the Allosaurus Lightning attacked prey with his mouth open, slashing the flesh with his teeth, but leaving the bones intact, as its life force wasn't strong. The Allosaurus shared its habitat with other carnivores, like the Torvosaurus and the Spinosaurus. They had to coexist somehow and avoid competition with food price. Some studies suggest that the other two carnivores were active around water sources and in forests, underbrush terrains. The different lizard, on the other hand, was more compact and hunted in dry wetlands. Captosaurus is a genus of plant-eating, big horned-shaped dinosaur of the late Jurassic period, West North America, possibly Europe. Scientists estimated the length of 6 meters, 22.3 feet per side, while others measured only 5 to 6 meters, or 16.4 to 9.7 feet long. Captosaurus had a sturdy build. Its front limbs were short, likely swollen 5 fingers, but only the first three had claws. The fourth and fifth fingers were more likely snubs. In the back, it had
Should probably grab on my bistro, not thinking very clearly because streaming problems. Holy cow, is it easy for a stream to go down for one reason or another? Yeah, that's really freaking annoying. I should have grabbed mine, but I was distracted. Too distracted.
Some sources mention that Captosaurus may have been a social creature.
Too distracted. Too distracted. Hello, 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 hello. What the heck? I don't even know if it's picking up audio.
Species, such as the widowbird. Males of Epidexiterates utilize extended tail feathers to captivate females.
Darn it.
As a means of displaying their superior genetic.
Maybe I shouldn't be doing this live.
These extensive tails comes at a cost to the males. Be it the energy invested in their growth or the aerodynamic challenge.
Should have gotten blue eyes to the hand instead of jet, but and I should have gotten my bistro, or I should have just got my bistro. Then I could have done that.
About 160 to 54 years ago in the area which is now present day in Mongolia, China. The skeleton of Epidexiterates measures 25 centimeters, or 9.8 inches in length, excluding tail. The weight is estimated to be around 64 grams. Gregory Scott Paul presented a length estimate of 30 centimeters in 12 inches, and 9 pounds. It had teeth only in the front of the jaws.
Holy cow, come on.
Teeth and only seen in basic. The rest of the skeleton formed overall similarity.
They need to make it to a point where it's like, if you have this card and this card and this card in your deck, you can just select the chain that will just automatically play out. And then the opponent inserts choke, like it can insert cards at choke points. Because this just takes so long. Then again, I've gotten few timeout victories. Whatever. It's like
They use their teeth in the front of their jaw to bump them during a fight. However,
oh my goodness, how long is this going to take? I wish I could just surrender. And I can, but it's not worth it. You just want to get those points.
Ornithian dinosaur from the Jurassic of the British Isles. Scelidosaurs lived during the early Jurassic period, around 191 million years ago. This genus and related genera at the time lived on the supercontinent Laurasia. Its fossils have been found in the
Hello! 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 I don't know why the green dots are being really weird. My microphone level. It is different than normal.
with pretty tough feet. Its posture is believed to be semi-erect, with a hind legs upright than those of earlier dinosaurs, but not fully upright as in later forms. Scelidosaurus likely inhabited a diverse ecosystem alongside the dinosaurs, marine reptiles, and various plant and invertebrate species. Understanding its place in this ecosystem provides insights into the ecological dynamics of the Earth's Scelidosaurus marks one of the initial branches crucial information in the evolutionary shape trees that eventually gave rise to more specialized forms, including the extensively armored ankylosaurs. The Ichthys is an extinct genus of brachychlorid fish that lived in the oceans of the Middle to Late Jurassic period about 170 million years ago. They measured at least 9 meters or 29.5 feet, but they may have reached a maximum size of more than 30 meters or 98.4 feet long. Skull bones have been found indicating that Leadsichthys had a large head with fossils on the skull root. Fossilized devonian fin rays show large elongated pectoral fins and a small vertical tail fin. The gill arches were lined by gill rakers, equipped by a unique system of delicate bone plates that fills a plankton with the seawater beneath food source. The holotype specimen for the Leipzigis genes was recovered from Southeast England. It was found in the Oxford Clay Formation and consisted of more than 1,000 skeleton elements attributed to one individual. But Leipzigis was quite widespread. Leipzigis lived in the same habitat as whales and phasine sharks and was likely swimming in depths up to 200 meters or 656 feet below sea level. Since it lacked any teeth, it was likely existed 2 feet high. This means that it fed on food particles suspended in water, which may have included phytoplankton and bacteria and detritus. This fish could move at speeds of approximately 17.8 kilometers per hour, or 11 miles per hour. Scientists estimate that at 1 year old, juveniles are already 1.6 meters or 1.6 feet long, and they continue growing throughout their lives, although the growth rates are likely relatively slow. Some scientists have suggested that Leipzig's might have had a form of regional endothermy, meaning it could have regulated into certain parts of its body. This adaptation could have allowed it to thrive in a variety of oceanic environments. Despite its enormous size, Leipzig's shares some anatomical features with common bony fish, particularly in its skull structure and scales, providing insights into the evolutionary history of teleos fishes. Ichthyosaurs are large extinct marine reptiles. They belong to the order known as Ichthyosaurids.
Already had it.
During much of the Mesozoic era, based on fossil evidence, they first appeared around 250 million years ago, and at least one species survived until about 19 million years ago, into the late Cretaceous. During the early Triassic epoch, ichthyosaurs and other ichthyosaurs evolved from a group of unidentified plant reptiles that returned into the sea in a development similar to how the mammalian man-dwelling ancestors of modern-day dolphins and whales returned to the sea millions of years later, which they gradually came to resemble a case of convergent evolution. Ichthyosaur species vary from 1 to 20 meters, 3 to 66 feet in length. Ichthyosaurs resemble both modern fish and dolphins. Their limbs have been fully transformed into flippers, which sometimes contain a very large number of digits of phalanges. At least some species possess a dorsal fin. Their heads are pointed, and the jaws are often equipped with conical teeth to catch small prey. Some species had larger plated teeth to attack large animals. The eyes were very large for deep diving. The neck was short, and later species had a rather thin trunk. During the early Jurassic, the ichthyosaurs still showed a large variety of species, ranging from 1 to 10 meters or 3 to 33 feet in length. Giant forms, suction feeders, and Juravegas species were closest. Few ichthyosaurs
That's fair. Totally fair.
This might be a result
Now, let's just get rid of that thing.
of nature seem to indicate that a further decrease in diversity had taken place. From the Middle Jurassic onwards, almost all ichthyosaurs belonged to the Unisaurian clade of Ophthalmosauridae, represented by the 4-meter long or 30-foot long Ophthalmosaurus and related genera. They were very similar in build to ichthyosaurs.
Seriously? Oh, okay.
These animals
That was a stupid fact part. Alright, so now
must have been underestimated. Plesiosaurus is a genus of extinct, large marine sauropterygian reptile that lived during the early Jurassic. It had a small head, long, slender neck, broad, turtle-like body, a short tail, and 2 pairs of large, elongated paddles. Plesiosaurs inhabited ancient Pacific seas during the early Jurassic period, about 200 to 183 million years ago. Discovered in the 19th century, Plesiosaurus was one of the first plesiosaurs ever described. As one of the most dominant marine reptiles of the Jurassic period, Plesiosaurus was also one of the most studied members of its family. Although size estimates for this genus vary, the length of the Plesiosaurus was typically between 2.87 and 3.5 meters, the long 9.4 to 11.5 feet, and it has a body mass of about 185 kilograms, or 480 pounds. The neck of the Plesiosaurus was notably flexible, allowing it to move its head in various directions. The barrel-shaped body of this marine reptile was fully adapted to an aquatic lifestyle. It had 4 paddle-like limbs that functioned as flippers to swim through the water. The hind limbs were elongated but narrow. In adult Plesiosaurus, the hind limbs were smaller than the forelegs. While the Plesiosaurus still had to raise its head above water to breathe air, its neck was too rigid to be raised completely out of water. The limbs of the Plesiosaurus were also not useful out of water because they could not support the reptile's weight and would have been too cumbersome to use on land. As plesiosaurians became better adapted to marine ecosystems, their sensory organs became highly specialized for thriving in marine environments. The skulls of some plesiosaurians possessed grooves running along the palate that supposedly conveyed water into the internal narrows. It is thought that water would flow through the internal narrows, flowing through parts of the olfactory epithelium, allowing them to pick up scents of surrounding water. As an apex predator of its time, the
Now,
plesiosaur many direct threats
I think I should add you to my hand.
with the target of its potential prey. However, its demise came from natural disasters, and it is believed that the extinction event occurred around the end of the Cretaceous period, alongside many other dinosaur species.
And it looks like we got it.
So, pterosaurs in the Jurassic period
Hardly a problem.
lives to that contemporary short-tailed pterodactyloid pterosaurs such as Pterodactylus. It had a long tail, stiffened with ligaments, which ended in a characteristic soft tissue tail vein. The mouth of Rhamphorhynchus housed needle-like teeth, which were angled forward with a curved, sharp, beak-like teeth, indicating a diet mainly of fish. Indeed, fish cephalophore remains are frequently found in Rhamphorhynchus abdominal contents. Although fragmentary fossil remains solely belong to Rhamphorhynchus have been found in England, Tanzania, and Spain, the best preserved specimens come from the Solnhofen limestone of Bavaria, Germany. Many of these fossils preserve not only the bones, but impressions of soft tissues, such as wing membranes. The largest known specimen of Rhamphorhynchus measures 1 to 6 meters, or 4.1 feet long, with a wingspan of 1.81 meters.
Yay!
The ground-breaking specimen has a wingspan of only 290 millimeters, while at 1.8 inches. However, it is likely that even such a small individual was capable of. In 2020, Polish ontogenetic analysis indicated that
Okay, I'm getting too hungry. Time to end the stream.
if